Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with First Alert Weather Day coverage.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6 streaming on this bitterly cold Tuesday. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Hannah Hartley. It is a little bit cold in here, we will say.
Yeah.
Nothing like outside. No. Of course, Jarrett Lansford trying to keep warm next to us. And Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. I mean, it is just absolutely frigid. Many districts closed their doors today. A lot of businesses already shutting their doors. So people really should be staying inside if they can.
Yeah, it's best to avoid the numbers like this. We'll improve pretty quickly once we get the sun to rise, but it's still darn cold out there right now. We've already had the coldest part of the morning. We did really fall hard last night after about 9-10 o'clock, and we fell all the way to 11 below. We have climbed a little bit, back up to 7 below, at least at the airport anyway. Wind chill of 23 below, but you see, not a great representation of the rest of the metro. Bellevue's 12 below, 11 below in Papillion. So we'll just say between 7 and 12 below zero right now is where most of us sit. Good on you if you could tell the difference, but it's just flat out cold everywhere. South wind 5 to 10 miles per hour as of right now. And that's the key, a south wind. That's going to help drag in some warmth. So it's light, but when it's this cold, any breath of wind will drop that wind chill. We're 20 to 30 below. Look at some of these numbers in Iowa. 32 below Harlan and Carroll, 31 below in Red Oak. The winds will pick up today, but it'll help to drag in some warmth. We'll get gusts over 20 miles per hour by 10, up near 30 miles per hour into the afternoon hours. So it'll be blustery as we go through the day today. So that's why at best I think our wind chills will probably end up being low single digits this afternoon. Above zero anyway, so that's better, but you can see the numbers and why, there's 2-hour late starts or just canceled classes all across the metro area and surrounding area today. So here's where we're at. Still around 10, 11 below zero for a while. By 9 o'clock, we're up to 5 below. By noon, we're making our way towards that 10-degree mark. It's mostly because of that south wind and the sunshine. Clouds try to move in by 3, 4 o'clock. We're about 20 degrees for the high, and then numbers start to back off into the evening and overnight, but not all that much. The clouds will act like a bit of a blanket, hold the number up, and we'll be in the teens with 20s to the west overnight into early tomorrow morning with clouds around, snow showers staying to our north and northeast as we head into early tomorrow morning. But where is the snow? Way down there, where it doesn't usually snow all that much. I mean, they get snow every few winters, but this is going to add up, folks. Look at Houston. These are waves of snow. There's been snow-covered roads reported in Houston, over towards Lake Charles. It is snowing into the Gulf of Mexico right now, and then over towards New Orleans as well, where they're going to have maybe 6 inches or more in parts of Louisiana. That's a blizzard warning in southern Louisiana, parts of southeast Texas, Lake Charles to Beaumont. We talk about them when it comes to hurricanes most of the time, and it looks like that is what they're dealing with in their area. This is pretty wild. They don't have the equipment to move this snow, and there's going to be several inches of it on the ground there.
Okay, so they're getting snow. When is our next chance? Do we have a next chance?
A little bit tomorrow. So they're going to get more out of one storm than we've had all winter.
Isn't that crazy?
Sounds really odd, but yeah, that's where we're going. We have this Wednesday snow chance here after 9 o'clock. So I don't think you have anything to worry about for the morning commute tomorrow. It's after 9. You get some scattered snow showers moving through, and they're just that, scattered and snow showers. I don't see it accumulating to much. You can see if we run this through the day on Wednesday, it'd be after 9 o'clock, maybe a few light snow showers that give us a few tenths of an inch. That would be about it. No big issues out of this one the way it appears with this round. But again, we'll keep an eye on it over the next 24 hours. Could get some flurries on Thursday too. 33 on Friday, back up into the 30s this weekend and 40s next week. So usually with cold air masses, it's tough to recover. We don't have any snow on the ground, so that's going to help get our numbers back up to where they should be a lot quicker.
40s.
I know.
Hot dog.
I feel like a summer vacation.
I think end of the month might be on the 10-day. I got to do some math there, but I can't remember where we're at. So yeah, it's going to be mild in January.
Okay. Also hoping for pretty mild conditions. Of course, a lot of districts are closed today. I think a lot of people also do kind of tend to stay home from work sometimes. So we shouldn't have too many traffic impacts.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it. Yesterday we thought would be quiet too, and then we ended up with a cattle truck crash that caused all sorts of issues. So we'll keep you first alert if we do start seeing any kind of problems. But in the early going, we are off to a pretty smooth start for anyone who is hitting the road. And this is what it's looking like I-80 around Giles. You can see that we are seeing a fair amount of traffic pick up into this area. Nothing crazy, but there's some drivers that are out and about. And when we're looking at how things are moving in a lot of the metro, you're going to see things like this. A lot of green showing up, things pretty smooth in many spots. There's a couple of exceptions that are notable, though, and one of those happens to be right around Highway 6, Highway 370. If you're in the Gretna area, that's one area where things are just not quite up to speed. It's not a major problem, but it's a little slower than you would want it to be as you drive through that area. I've also been watching some of our main intersections around 90th. That includes this one, 90th and Maple, where we're seeing some slowdowns as you approach that one. Actually doing okay on Dodge right now. That was another one that had shown some delays at times. And a little bit of some slowing has been showing up occasionally as you get your way toward Blair High and Bennington Road, especially as you head your way southbound. Nothing like we were seeing yesterday later in the morning commute, though. As we zoom things out, there you can see the picture. A lot of quiet travel out there. So good news. Hopefully the worst part of your morning is those first few steps as you're trying to get to your car and get up and running, because right now on the roadways it is looking pretty smooth for any kind of travel that you're doing, and we're hoping that remains the case through the morning.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, thanks. All right, now to breaking news. A person is dead after a shooting in Bellevue. Police say this all happened near 50th and Aspen. Officers responded to a home in the area, found a man with gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. He has now been identified as 21-year-old Jaden Palma. Police do not believe there is any danger to the public. This investigation, though, is ongoing.
The extreme cold is shifting many schedules today. Omaha Public Schools will now have a virtual learning day, but Pili and La Vista, Millard, Bellevue schools all closed, among many other metro school districts. The Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium is also closed today. You can find a complete list of closings and delays on our website. Just go to firstalert6.com.
A good reminder, the Salvation Army will have warming centers open today. The Kroc Center at 28th and Y is open from 8 this morning to 7. The Heritage Place at 36th and Cumming is open from 9 to 4.
All right, now to First Alert 6 Safety Desk. I'm here with Maria Cade. So the days are darker, these temperatures are colder, the holidays are not over. I took down all my decorations this weekend and I felt some kind of way, Maria.
I know, it does make you feel a little bit maybe down in the dumps.
It does a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, experts say if you are feeling this way, especially when it gets really cold, dark early, it's okay and you're probably not alone. Now, the first way to try and get rid of those feelings is to focus on what you can control and put your energy into that direction. Then make sure to show yourself some grace, and it's also important to hit the pause button and focus on self-care, whether that's exercise, meditation, or deep breathing. You want to prioritize those things that make you feel good.
Everybody has a bad day. It's okay to not be okay, but you have to remind yourself that this too shall pass.
Now, making social connection a priority can be a really big help, not just this time of the year, though, all the time. Richardson says it's a critical key to maintaining your mental health. So you can get out there, maybe go out, have lunch with your friends. If it's a little bit warmer, that can really help.
We all went out this weekend, had a great time, lots of laughs. It does do something for your psyche,
Lifts
right?
your spirits.
Yeah. All right, now to something that's affecting so many people right now, and it's the insurance costs for homeowners.
Yeah, there is some new data that's being released that unfortunately isn't looking good for people who live in areas that are really affected by severe weather. So we do want to break this down. That data shows homeowners insurance costs increased 9% faster than overall inflation compared to 2018 to 2022. And experts say that spike could be, of course, because of those extreme weather events, different things like hurricanes and fires playing a really big part. Researchers looked at homes in zip codes that are at greatest risk for extreme weather. And according to the report, 20% 80% of those homes paid an average of more than $2,300 a year in premiums. And that's 82% higher than the rates that were paid by homeowners who were living in the areas with a lower risk. So a pretty big sizable gap there. The report also found that homeowners living in high-risk areas are 80% more likely, unfortunately, to have their policies canceled by insurance.
We're hearing about that right now,
with the
unfortunately.
wildfires.
All
Yep.
right. Maria Cade from the Safety Desk this morning, as always, thank you, and we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back. Time now 7:13 on a just absolutely brutal start to a Tuesday morning. Of course, we're at the end of January. We expect temperatures like this, but it's so significant enough that schools are closed today. Many of them even delayed start. Many businesses are going to be closed today, so people really kind of stay inside.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those days where everything's just going to work a little harder. Your car's going to start hard. You know, you might hear your house kind of creak and crack.
You did, right?
Yeah, there's when the furnace kicks on and things are very cold out there.
Do I have ghosts, or is this cold?
It is different. So everything just doesn't function well when numbers are this cold, and you can see we're not alone. Look at these single-digit and double-digit below zero readings all across the upper Midwest. And notice where the numbers are. I mean, you got to go to Goodland, Kansas to find anything that's above zero right now. And we're going to try to warm the numbers up. And this is in closer to the metro, 7 to about 12 below for most of us with air temperatures. South wind, though, thank goodness, trying to help bring in some warmer air, but we're still 20 to 30 below, 32 below Harlan and in Carroll right now. This is what you're stepping out the door to. I don't need to reiterate it. You need all the winter gear and then some. If you got to be working outside in conditions like this, try to take breaks, get inside the warm car. It's going to be tough to for your fingers to function when temperatures are this cold, and frostbite can set in pretty quickly. Notice the south wind. That'll try to pick up and gust in your 30 miles per hour later on this afternoon. Therefore, wind chills are going to stay at best in the single digits. So here's where your temperatures go today. Below zero to start, up near 20 for the high today. I think we settle back a little bit this evening, and then as clouds roll in and thicken up, we may rise a little and hang steady into tomorrow morning. So it could be a big improvement, maybe 30 degrees warmer in some spots tomorrow morning than what we have out there this morning. So at least the numbers will make it look a lot better. Now, let's talk a little bit about our next potential for some snow here. There's a little bit out there that could roll through on Wednesday after 9 o'clock. I don't think you're going to get much of this during the morning drive. And notice, might just be a couple stripes or two that don't bring snow to everybody. Very light little pockets that'll be moving through. You combine that with the wind that tries to kick up, and a couple of these could drop visibility a little bit, but I'm not foreseeing widespread problems where we coat all the roads and it shuts down the city by any means. But this is what we're going to be watching through the afternoon. Into the early evening where some flurries may linger. Then Thursday, a few flurries as well. Again, nothing really adding up much out of those. How much snow could we get out of this little system moving through? A few tenths of an inch. That's about it. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Your better odds of maybe getting a little bit more could be in our northern counties. There's a few models that take some of these darker blue colors you see here and graze our Iowa counties north of I-80 with those. So we'll watch here. If there's anywhere that's going to go a little bit above what models say, it could be the few counties you see there in west central Iowa. So take what we can get now. Still number 2. But only 2/10 behind that 53-54 winter for the driest and our least snowfall to start off a season. Temperatures improve, 30s and 20s for highs after this. So at least it's a little bit better by the numbers. We're getting through this cold snap here, and with the coldest morning out there happening right now.
Yeah, and we're at what? 20 below right now. We really are going to rebound nicely next week.
Yeah.
I know. You just got to have a little patience. By the end of the 10-day, there's some good numbers here as we head towards the end of the month. Look at some 40s showing up there.
40s.
That's
really good numbers.
That's a treat.
It's great to see. And you look a little longer range, even into early February, the odds do lean towards warmer than average weather through the middle of the country. So a little short-lived little blast of cold. We can handle 3-4 days. And I'm not saying we won't do it again in February, but hey, for now, we're at the end of this one anyway. So.
All right. That's good. Okay, people also, if they're going to be heading out today, this is a good reminder to do all those necessary car precautions. So if anything, God forbid, does happen, you are prepared.
Yeah, it's nothing to take lightly. So you just make sure that you are staying safe, and that as you're getting where you need to go, you're doing that in the best fashion. So let's talk about a few tips here just to make sure that you're on top of it. One of them just starts with simply being with your vehicle as you're starting. It sounds maybe a little absurd, but you'd rather sit cold in your vehicle than not be able to get to your vehicle because someone else is driving your vehicle because you had it warm up by itself. So sit in your car as it warms up. Also, make sure you're dressed warm. Again, stands to reason, but just in case as you're driving out and about, you maybe run into some issues, you have a flat tire, you maybe end up in a fender bender, that way you don't have more issues because you're not prepared with the correct protections there. And then it's just a good idea to have an emergency kit too in your vehicle. It's always a good idea, but especially on these kind of mornings, having some water, some snacks, and a first aid kit are some great ideas to include in that. Always a good reminder to have this kind of stuff at the top of your list in winter conditions, but especially in mornings like this. Otherwise, it's pretty much a pretty smooth start to our morning on the commute, and hopefully we don't have any problems develop.
All right, Jarrett, hope not. Thanks. This morning, Omaha Mayor Gene Stothert and Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmatter address reports of immigration raids that are happening across the country.
They say OPD has no plans to participate in any of those raids, nor have they been made aware of any in Omaha. Stothert says you will not be questioned about your legal status when you call 911, whether you're a victim of a crime or if you're a witness to one.
This is not the mission or duty of the Omaha Police Department.
Are expected to further discuss OPD's policy on immigration enforcement at a news conference later this afternoon.
Now, also at that press conference today, city officials say they will provide an update on the inspections at Cityview Apartments. Now, we first told you about these issues at Cityview last week. Mayor Gene Stothert will be joined by Fire Chief Kathy Bossman, the Planning Director Dave Fanslaw, as well as the Permits and Inspections team. That press conference is set for 2.
And also happening today, a troubled downtown bar will have a hearing to see if its liquor license should be canceled.
Last year, the city council voted not to renew the license for Crush Ultra Lounge. Now, that denial came after a string of incidents that included assaults and a shooting. The Liquor Commission eventually did grant a license with restrictions. Today's hearing is set for 1 p.m. Well, we may not pay attention to them as much as, say, our pets do.
But today, we're going to celebrate them. We explain what we're talking about when First Alert 6 streaming returns.
All right, today it is National Squirrel Appreciation Day.
You probably didn't even know that day existed. I know I didn't. So there are more than 200 species of squirrels around the world. They fall into basically 3 different types. There's the ground squirrels, the tree squirrels, and the flying squirrels. So to celebrate Squirrel Appreciation Day, because I know that's what you're wondering, how can I? You can actually set up a squirrel feeder, or you can watch them outside. Those are some
Really? There you go. Those are the best ways.
That's how you do it.
I wonder how many of them are going to be out and about in this kind of weather.
That's true.
Watch them from your window.
There you go. I know the squirrels have turned our bird feeder into a squirrel feeder. They kind of took it over.
They
but
did.
They'll like shriek from the trees down at our dogs in the yard.
So we had Scotties growing up, and they'd go over to chase this squirrel. The squirrel would go up on the tree and sit about this far out of the reach and just chatter at it, taunting it. So
I love the taunting.
I have a little,
They so now too.
a little bit of a hard time appreciating squirrels because I got mad on my dog's behalf. Like, oh my gosh, that's mean.
Like, haha, can't get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dog?
Yeah.
Your dog?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just interested. That's just like making, like squeaking. He's becoming a squirrel. He's squeaking so loud.
Morphing
I don't
into
know.
it. Morphing into the squirrel.
I'm glad the squirrels get their own day, but I kind of like National Cheese Day a little bit better.
I know.
Yesterday.
Support
Cheese,
that.
squirrels.
Yeah.
We support
Only
that.
one you can eat.
All right, everybody, that's all the time we have. We got to get ready for our update in today's show. You can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
All right, have a great start to your Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. It's just a frigid temperature on this First Alert Day. Many schools and businesses have already closed their doors. We're going to check in on when we can expect any kind of warm up with Senior Chief Rusty Lord.
Yeah, we're going to try to warm up the next couple of hours here, but again, it's a process because we're so darn cold. 13 below in Nebraska City feels like 30 below. Look at where Omaha is at 7 below. It's actually one of the warmer numbers at the airport. Most of us are a lot closer to 10 below. Wind chills 20 to 30 below. That's going to be the case for the next hour or two before this south wind starts to kick in and drag in some of the warmth. The wind chill forecast today doesn't really get above 0 until sometime early in the afternoon, and the best we can do is probably single digits above 0. So first alert to the dangerous cold out there, and then the wind that'll pick up later today out of the south, gusting near 30 miles per hour. It does drag some warmth in, so we'll take this number near 10 here this morning, get it back above 0 as we head towards lunch, and only get a high of about 20 degrees later on this afternoon. Jarrett?
As we're starting things off, lighter traffic with some of those delays and closings that are in place. You can find those on our website, by the way, WWT.com. As you're making your way here and there, you can see some of those in Gretna, a little slower delays. Highway 370, Highway 6. Watch that as an area where it's a little bit slower. Also, as you're getting close to Blair High Road on Bennington Road heading southbound, not a major delay, but you do have some slowing that is happening at this time. But most of the metro is moving along in pretty good shape early this morning.
Well, Omaha Public Schools will have a virtual learning day today due to that extreme cold. Papillion, La Vista, Millard, and Bellevue schools are some of the metro districts also closed. A complete list of those closings can be found up on our website. That's at firstalert6.com.
All right, it is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.